welcome to the show. We are here today on Forza Horizon 5 with another little tournament. This is a hypercar rally. However, normally when we run these, we run rear-wheel drive vehicles. We've never really done anything with the all-wheel drive monsters. So that's what we're going to be taking down: a dirt, twisty, bumpy, nasty pass. A selection of very, very powerful all-wheel drive hypercars. In a sort of 1v1 knockout tournament style. We have got on the grid, first of all, Ewan driving the Rimac against Gliska in the Mercedes. The Rimac is going to launch like mad. It's it's phenomenally fast in a straight line, but it's very heavy, very difficult to drive. The Mercedes, likely to be much easier to control, but won't have that same brutal acceleration or top speed. The Rimac should lead into turn 1. Whether it's going to stay there for any length of time, who knows on this one. At some point, they will be released. At some point, they'll get underway. At the moment, I think we just have buzzy drone sound, which, to be fair, for the Rimac is not much. We're not much quieter than the Rimac. Here we go. We're off and underway. That was a Mercedes sound. We're going. Anyway, the Merc leads away. The Rimac was quick initially, but just could not get the car turned into that first corner as we blast down this next section. Actually, I think it's the Mercedes idle, isn't it? Because it idles really high, that car. Sounds horrible on idle. But there we go. The Rimac, you can see the speed as we blast towards the hairpin. Now, the cars are going to try and stay on the circuit, on the road as much as possible. There is going to be some running wide, I have no doubt around here. They're difficult to drive. They slip and slide around. It's bumpy. The Rimac's over the bumps there on the dirt. The Mercedes will lead the way as they head across the road. It's kind of roughly the halfway stage. The Rimac's gone wide. The Rimac's gone really wide, but Ewan keeps it all together. I mean, these things are damn fast. The drone does struggle to keep up a little bit in places. The Rimac's having a look though. Gliska sliding the Merc through the next corner. Actually got a decent amount of speed on the exit as we head down towards the next corner. A little bit of fence, not what Ewan needed. Now the Rimac should be good through the water. It should punch through there nicely, considering the power and weight of that car. However, is not currently close enough to do much as we round what is essentially the final corner. All we have is the run to the finish line. Through the water we go. The Valhalla up there is the finish line. The Mercedes will take victory. The Merc is through to the next round. Ewan will go into the spatter final with the Rimac. It was a good race, I have to say, actually. It got lost at one point, went very wide, but was surprisingly close between the two of them. Either way, the better handling Merc is through to the next round. We are on to the next heat. We have a little bit of an oddball in the form of the Unicorn. Okay, it's technically a vastly modified, but it's all-wheel drive, lots of power, has slick tyres, vaguely PI similar to this lot. It's a little bit, a bit wacky, but should be interesting to see how it fares up against a more conventional hypercar. The Porsche 918. Aaron driving the Porsche, Impega is driving the Unicorn. We will get these underway. We will see how they fare. There's a little bit of lag going on. That's not the Porsche doing a burnout. You couldn't physically get it to do that, I don't think. Either way, they launch. Good start for the Ford. To the outside, it will take the lead of the race. For the moment, a lot can happen down here. The Porsche, though, is in all sorts of crossed up from the 918 there, but does get it stopped. Actually made a little bit of ground in some way. It was a fair way off the course, and not intentionally. The Unicorn is twisted the wrong way again. We'll see a lot of going left into right-handers. There's a big jump for the Porsche. It's going to happen as long as you can gather it all back up in time. Porsche's on the bumps. Porsche's out wide. Porsche's in trouble over there. He's going to visit some scenery. It's easy to do if you just stick a wheel a little bit wide. You can get yourself in all sorts of problems. Here comes the Unicorn up ahead. I mean, Impega doesn't have to do anything stupid now. Oh, and I say that, literally as I say that sentence, Impega slides wide, although the Porsche does a similar thing further back. When you've got a decent lead in one of these sort of short tournament races, don't end up off the track. Just keep things fairly, keep it together, don't do anything stupid. You can kind of turn it back a little bit. We have a big slide from the Ford as we round the next corner. The Porsche, I think, may have had another off somewhere. And there we go. It is through for Impega's Unicorn. I think once the Porsche fell behind, it may have pushed a little too hard and just made a couple of small errors along the way. And there we go. Porsche will cross the line, and it is into the Spanner final. It'll be chaos. But the Unicorn, that has gone through. On to our next heat, and we have another one of the crazy electric hypercars, the Lotus I don't know how to pronounce it, but we have the Manic Lotus, and we have got the Bugatti Divo. Now the Divo is very heavy, but it's surprisingly fast, I have found. Chris is driving the Divo, Amy's driving the Lotus. We will set these cars on their way. I think the Lotus could be quick, but very difficult to drive. That's the way I expect it to go. I think the Lotus theoretically has potential to be faster, but be easier to make bigger mistakes. The Divo could potentially be one of the more consistent cars. We launch them, they are both off and underway. The Lotus jumps to the lead early on as we head through this kind of turn one. It's not going to be flat out really with the cars through here. The Divo, a little tap on the brakes for this next section. Sometimes it can be a good idea to get the vehicle settled through the corner, sort of before the corner, if you like. The Lotus is starting to pull away a little bit at the front of all of this one, as long as they can get it stopped for this next corner, which they do. It runs a little bit wide, but you'll kind of get away with not having quite perfect lines in places, as long as you're not bouncing across the dirt on the outside, like the Divo was. That's not where you want to be. The Lotus looks quick, actually, down here. So quick, I have found a tree to bump into. As long as you get the car stopped, you've got to try and get the car stopped for this next section. The Divo's pushed it too hard. The Divo's around. The Divo's gone. That's off into the Rimac field. Oh, I've lost wherever the Lotus has gone. Yeah, these things are damn quick down that straight. That's the one section the drone struggles with. Down there, it is just a little bit too slow. I've got to be like really prepared from spinning around the camera. It's difficult to make back up that speed. The Lotus is through the water splashes now. Again, there's nothing really it has to be worried about. The Divo had a monstrous spin and has lost a huge chunk of time. So, yeah, that is a little bit too far back. And there we go. The Lotus will cross the line. The Lotus takes victory. The Divo, it was spectacular. It was spectacular. It's vanished because things have broken a little bit, but there we go. The Lotus is through to the next round. We have got an interesting matchup next. The Aston Martin Valhalla up against the Lamborghini Sesto Elemento. They're quite a bit different to some of the other vehicles. These are much smaller, much lighter, much more compact than, well, let's compare it to the Bugatti sat around in the in the background. Whether that's a good thing or not, I'm not sure. Maybe you want a little bit of weight down here. The Sesto might be a little bit too light. The Sesto is down on power massively compared to everything else here. As we shoot off and underway, the Lamborghini might lead the way into the first corner. It's going to be down on straight line speed, but could well be more manageable when we get to the corners. The Aston Martin is looking for a way past. It is going to have to go the long way around. It's sliding and sliding and sliding, and he's going to run out of room. Possibly it will have the acceleration, though, on the Lamborghini as we head up towards the next corner. The Aston's very sideways into this next turn. Still sliding, not really what you want. Longbow is driving the Sesto. Danger Man is driving the Aston Martin through here. Oh, the Sesto's on the bumps. The Sesto's found the same area the Porsche did, and the Lamborghini has found a tree. It didn't quite get through there as well as the Porsche did, sadly. If you run wide and you hit those bumps, although things aren't over for the Aston Martin, that very nearly had a big silly spin. There you just see in the distance. Oh, the Aston Martin is making a meal of it a little bit further down. Yeah, that is. That's not quite the line you want. Oh, that is horrible through the water splash. Don't know whether there was a little bit of trying to tip the car into the next corner, or whether that genuinely just got chucked sideways by going through the water there for the Valhalla. That is, yeah, not ideal. It's still going very sideways. Danger Man's obviously chucking it more sideways than some people would do. Certainly, I wouldn't want to be. Some of these cars just slide around like that on their own. The Aston is through to the next round. The Sesto, unlucky. It ran wide and caught those bumps and was just spat out wide from all of that. Unlucky for Longbow. Good effort. Just slightly the wrong place and couldn't get the car away from the bumps. It's so fast. Once you get airborne, there's nothing you can do. we move on to our next round with a pair of Bugattis. We have got a Chiron and we have got a Veyron SS. We're going to have at least one into the next round, with the Devo having already fallen to the Spanner final. I have no idea what we're going to see from this one. I mean, of course we expect the Chiron to be a little bit, potentially a little bit better, being the more modern of the two vehicles. They're both very heavy, they're both very powerful, they have a lot of turbos going on between them. In fact, there's probably more turbos in this almost than the rest of the whole race put together. We will see, though. At some point, they will be launched. I'm going for Chiron, but actually, who is we've got Ollie driving the Veyron. We have Obamba driving the Chiron. We are underway. It's a good start for the Veyron as we launch through this first corner. Big slide from the Chiron through all of this. There's a bit of a long hold on this one. The Veyron's out very wide. We've seen a lot of cars wandering out wide over that part, though, of the circuit. The Chiron's on the bumps again. There's so many cars have been caught out by just running a little bit wide. It is very bumpy along the edges of this road, and you will get into no end of trouble if you sort of stick a wheel too far wide. You just, once you hit them, the car's bouncing, the front's in the air, and all of that sort of stuff, and you just don't have any control. We run through these next couple of corners. The Veyron leads the way, can stretch its legs down here towards this sweeping corner that's caught out a couple of vehicles here. It's a tough turn. You only really need a little tap on the brakes, although the Veyron is out a bit too wide. The Chiron's too fast. The Chiron's going to go for a spin. Almost the same place. I think it was the Devo that went around there, wasn't it? Pretty much the same accident, nearly, although the Chiron keeps it all together through there. Now we've got the water section coming up. The Veyron slides a little bit wide. It's through the deep part of the water. Also gets chucked sideways a smidge in all of that. The Chiron is likewise a little bit wide through there. However, unless there's a very big spin for the Veyron, there's not going to be anything the Chiron can do here as we head towards the finish line, through the water, sorry, and then we're off towards the finish line. I've lost it. Damn it, didn't quite get the acceleration. The Veyron takes victory in this. The Chiron is across the line and into the Spanner final. They put up a good fight, but yeah, just couldn't quite match the pace of that of the Veyron SS. We're on to the last of the heats, and I have got quite the PI advantage. I don't think the Centenario is quite into S2 even for all of this, even with the slick tyres. I have the Neo, incredibly fast electric hypercar, this one. However, it's likely to be leery on the way down here. Blakey's driving the Centenario that should be a little bit more tame. I'll have brutal straight line speed, I would imagine. I don't know over some of the other cars, but certainly in this fight, we should have brutal straight line speed. We've got a lot more power. We've got 1,300 horsepower in this. We are not great off the line, though. A little slow reaction, perhaps, from me. Maybe I can't really hold the car on the clutch like you can with a conventional engine, because we don't have one. It is a difficult car to get it to behave itself. I think I'm going to, I don't have to worry about gears. My best bet, I've got no traction really going on here, is going to be to just outrun the Centenario down that back straight. I'm almost not too fussed, just don't do anything stupid here. Unless we can find a way past. We're kind of looking and looking, not going to find it there. We're going to hit a bump. Oh, don't get caught out by the bumps here. This is where I didn't need to. I needed to be a lot closer to the Lamborghini for this part. Now comes the Neo's strength, the straight line speed of this, but remember, we've got a fast corner coming up. Can't afford to get in trouble. Blakey's run a little bit wide. We're neater and tidier through all of this. And then we've got a big slide through the next part. I'm actually in a little bit of trouble here. Although, I can't get the front end to turn in. Really struggling getting this thing to be cooperative. We got caught out on the bumps. The thing I really needed to not do, we ended up doing. Well, we can dive through the water. We'll make up some time there. Possibly. We're going to run a little bit wide through all of this. What can I do? I mean, we've got to be very quick on the exit here. We're going to have to use the power of the Neo towards the line. I'm just not close enough. I just can't get the car to accelerate fast enough out of this. Blakey takes victory with the Centenario. I tried. Maybe I should have dove at the really tight hairpin. Possibly. I was planning to try and set it up for the long back straight, but I just couldn't carry the speed through the corners in the same way the Lamborghini could. Well, petrol beats electric. The lowest PI car beats one of the highest PI cars in all of this one. Blakey is in to the next round. We're on to the semi-finals next, and up first we have got the one remaining electric hypercar in the Lotus up against the Veyron. I mean, the Lotus is probably the favourite here. It looked fast in the qualifying round. The Veyron is, I think, the oldest car in this lot, as we are off and underway. Good start for the Lotus. It is going to take the lead of the race, sweep around the outside, and will take the lead for now. It's going to come down to what's better over the bumps and what can get turned into these corners. I couldn't get the Neo to turn in until the Veyron's taken a bit of a dive through that turn, but not close enough. The Lotus can just power away down this next section towards the hairpin it goes, although lots of understeer mid-corner for the Lotus will still get to sort of a very late apex and kind of punch the car forward. This is where I got in trouble, or out wide across the bumps, not able to turn in. Both of these cars not had quite the same issues as they barrel down towards this fast corner. The Veyron's in trouble, it's carried too much speed on the way in there. The Veyron's out wide, recovers it though, not a spin, not all the way off into the forest, very sideways. A bit dramatic shot in the background there for the Veyron, still a bit dramatic. Cattioli's all over the place with that car. The Lotus leads heading up towards the water section. Now, we haven't seen the water grab a car and spin one yet. I don't think we will. I don't think it's quite going to do enough to the vehicles. The Lotus slides through these next couple of corners. He's got one more turn to go, and the Veyron has... it's actually a good final section, but it's just not going to... Even if it can close all the way through this corner, it does a decent job through the corner, it's just not going to match that Lotus acceleration. The Lotus claims victory, it's across the line, the Lotus wins, the Veyron will take second. Unfortunately for the Veyron, it is... out. Out. It's into the Spanner final, it's going to be mayhem. That Lotus looks a serious contender. That Lotus looks seriously rapid down here. We're on to the second of the semi-finals. Glitter's Mercedes is up against Danger Man's Aston Martin. God knows what way this one is going to go. I think this could be a very, very close race. To be fair, that Mercedes is so loud. It really is a ridiculous engine in that one. We are off and underway. I think the Mercedes might just have this, but I think it's going to be close. That would be my pre-race guess, but you never know as we run down here. The Merc leads the way through this first section. Danger Man's pushing. That's a long way to the inside. He's going to slide up into the door, and I think Danger Man will probably lift and let the Merc sort of retake the lead. It's easy to lose the back end, apparently not. It's easy to lose the back end on these and get into trouble. I think Listen's going to return the favour through the next corner. We've got a little bit of creative use of track lines. Liska does not want to be on the outside there. It's bumpy and bumpy and bumpy, and somehow keeps it out of the trees through all of that one. That is very, very nearly in a big amount of trouble through there. The Aston will lead the way through this next section. Big slide from the Valhalla. The Aston didn't look very good in the this sort of a section in its earlier run. They've both slid wide. They've both got in trouble through there. The Valhalla very, very wide, or I think Mercedes was just trying to follow it and took too much speed into that corner. The Aston's in trouble again. It's too wide into the water splash. Mercedes takes the lead of the race as we head into the final little section through the narrow part of the water for the Merc. It will keep hold of the lead. The Valhalla, there's not really much of a gap to go for, but the problem the Merc's going to have is if it can't get the power down, they're both out wide. It's a drag race towards the line here. It is going to be the Mercedes that takes it just very close. The Valhalla had a run, but it was just too far. I'm surprised. I thought the Mercedes was in trouble when it hit that street furniture out wide, kind of this sort of flimsy fencing. However, it didn't slow it down on that acceleration. So I did think it was going to be close. I did think the Merc was going to get it. And there we do. There we go. Well done, Gliska. It was a little bit interpretations of track limits. I think they both did about the same. So we'll call it fair. But yeah, that was a manic race. The Merc's into the final. Well, we have a little bit of an oddball battle for the last of our semi-finals. The Unicorn, that's wacky, and the lowest PI car here in that Centenario. Who knows what way this is going to go. We will have to wait and see is whether the Centenario being probably that little bit tamer, or the Unicorn being that bit more powerful, faster straight line speed. The Unicorn will lead the way out of the first corner. But the Lamborghini sounds good at least. We'll give it that much as we head towards the I guess first let's say real test of the cars. The Unicorn is, as expected, a little bit sideways, is out a bit wide, and you'll get away with it on this part of the circuit. There's no bumps out wide. You don't get away with it when the going starts getting a little bit nastier. So we head through the hairpin. The Lamborghini might be able to close up a little bit. It's very sideways for the Centenario through all of that. This is where you really can't afford to run wide. In fact, the Unicorn bumps its way across the inside a smidge. Actually, very neat and tidy from Impega there in the Ford as it's going to stretch its legs down here. You see the back of the car getting tipped up. The Centenario is still there. Big slide from the Unicorn. Big slide from the Centenario as well. So we head through these next corners. Oh, the Lamborghini's got a little bit too fast into there, desperately trying to make up some time. It's very, very easy to do down here. You're pushing, trying to make up some time, and yeah, looking for any bit you might be able to, and just overdrive the car a smidge, I think is what happened for the Lamborghini in that one. I mean, it's kept the Ford honest in places. And all this has kept the Ford honest. Oh, Ford almost hitting that inside fence. You don't really want to. You don't want anything that might cause you grief, as it runs the line. However, Impega is through with a victory in this semi-final. Blakey, unlucky for the Lamborghini. However, that is into the spanner. I hope you are ready for mayhem, because this is the Mega Spanner final. All of the vehicles that have been eliminated so far have been clumped together into a 9-car race of much horsepower and not enough grip. There is zero chance we will make it to the finish line without a crash. Someone's going in a tree, someone's pointing backwards. I'm on the second row, but honestly, I'm more than happy with that. I know my car doesn't launch great, or it didn't launch great. I think maybe I did the launch wrong. There's just a cacophony of noise occurring. Maybe we don't go for the handbrake launch. I'm just not going to press anything here. We actually had a good launch, and the Chiron was slow reacting, so we actually got screwed at the end anyway by a Bugatti. There's the downside of getting a good launch from the second row. We're going to try and make up some places here if we can. It's going to be a little bit of argy-bargy on the way through here. You've kind of got to go for whatever you can. Ewan versus Danger Man is at the front of this one. It's the Rimac versus the... I'm in trouble. We're going to lean on Chris a little bit. Rimac versus the Valhalla. If we can get past the Devo that's bounced wide, that would be good. I can't get the front end to change direction. I'm now on the bumps. Aaron's gone wide and has found a tree, but not fully buried in it. We are up into about a 5th place, which all things considered could be worse. I'm being a little bit tentative down here because I don't trust the Neo. Danger Man's out very wide, battling with Ewan. We're now out very wide, as did Longbow and Ollie get into trouble. Oh dear, there are cars behind. The Centenario's looking for a way back past. It's a bloody reimagining of our qualifying round. We are back past. I don't know if Blakey thought they were off the circuit. To be honest, there was so much pushing and shoving. I think it would be a bit fair with some of the off-circuit overtakes. Blakey's actually fallen back into the clutches of whoever's behind. I mean, we had a scruffy mid part of this lap that kind of did me in. I didn't have a great start. It's actually got better for the Neo than I thought it might have done. I think it was a Ewan victory. I didn't actually get to see it. It was definitely Ewan versus Danger Man up at the front. We held on for 5th. Yeah, then the Neo, it's a very quick car on tarmac. Funnily enough, on the dirt, it just doesn't really work. I think the Rimac came good in that one, though, from what I could see. If we'd got a better launch, maybe we could have been a little bit further up. Our car is not the very worst one here, but it's a long, long way off the best. It's a long way off the best. Well done to you and for the victory in that one. A great battle with Danger Man as well. I think I'll have to check the footage because I was busy trying to not spin my own bloody car. But there we go. Could have been more chaotic, if I'm honest. Let's see what the final brings. We have got our final here. The Lotus, Mercedes and Unicorn, because I mean it's technically a Ford, but there's not much Ford left in it, are all on the grid. I feel like the Lotus might have it. I feel like the Lotus is the one to beat. However, you never know with this. If the Lotus gets stuck in a battle with the Unicorn, we could see all sorts of things. As we launch, we're off and underway. It's a good start from Impega with the Unicorn. It will take the lead of the race, although Glisker's immediately fighting back with the Mercedes. Avi's Lotus is going to sit in behind them. Could be preparing to try and pick off the pieces should they fight each other into attrition. As they do a little bit through here. Lotus is having a look. Not much space though on such a tight line. Impega can launch. the Unicorn off that high line and carry some speed. The Lotus so fast accelerating. This has got to fire the Mercedes back up the inside into the next corner. They all slide out of... And Mercedes is still bobbling over there, don't end up on the nasty ruts on the outside. There goes the Lotus' straight line speed. It soars past the Merc into second, but it's all crossed up. The Lotus is off, it's into the tree line, not quite actually gets it back together. Could have been a lot worse. The Ford's out wide on the exit there. I think that the Lotus's battle with the Mercedes is costing it so much, I say so much time, it's costing it time to the Unicorn. It's just able to extend this lead a little bit more and more. Through the water we go, and it is still the Mercedes in second, actually closing a little bit to Impega through there. The Lotus is pretty much pushing the Mercedes up towards his final corner, but can't quite get to the inside. The Merc's just got such good turning that the Lotus can't find a way past, although will the Lotus have enough straight here to out-accelerate it? Possibly. It's not going to matter. The Unicorn takes victory, and I'm not sure what happened. I don't know, because they've pinged out of sight. Forza, you've broken. I think the Mercedes held it. It looked like it was going to be very close, but I don't think there was enough time for the Lotus to accelerate past it. Oh, they've pinged back into sight. Bloody drone mode. Damn it, I hate it when it does that. Well, what is not in doubt is the winner. The Unicorn is victorious, admittedly in the Hypercar rally. Technically not a hypercar, but certainly not the one we would have picked either at the start of this to have claimed victory. It was madness. It was good fun, actually. It's a fun stage, a fun route to take these cars down. They're very quick. They're very difficult to drive. Mistakes were made. But, yeah, we had some good racing. And the drone mode broke. Awesome. But there we go. That is going to be it for this video. I can't have any cars to even end. We've got no final shot, really. We've just got a junction. It's going to be it for this. Thank you all very much for watching. And until next time, a goodbye.